Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Carl.
And here we are again.
Sorry?
And here we are again.
All right, yes.
So, I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
Like always.
You always have a question for me.
Exactly.
It always starts with a question. Sometimes not so eager, and sometimes eager questions.
Okay, this is an eager one.
Okay, tell me.
So what happens when, let's say, someone achieves a target? Let's say someone wants to lose 20 kilos, right? They go through the whole process and they achieve their target. They lose weight, they look good. What happens next?
What happens next for them? Do you mean what happens next for them? Because I'll tell you what happens next for them. In 95% of the time, they get the weight that they want. They don't get the look that they want. They get the look that they want in their clothes. So, because then everyone looks good in their clothes and they're wearing those flowing dresses and they're saying, I lost 20 kilos, I look really, really good. And everyone says, I look really, really good. But underneath the clothes, unfortunately, they're probably a little bit soft and a little bit flabby, which means that they lost weight, but they didn't lose any fat. So right away, that's a sign. So what they do usually is, at that point, they go, oh my God, thank God I lost 20 kilos. Now I can go back and eat what I have been missing for such a long time. I want that pizza, I want the bread, I want the pasta, I want the sweets, I have this body, I want this wine, I'm going to the beach, I'm going to drink and have fun. And what happens next is that they over time put all that weight back on and more. That's what happens next. And that's the truth. That is what happens next for about 98% of people that do that. It's an insane, insane journey to be dieting. Dieting is the worst thing you can ever do. Don't diet. It's got 3 horrible letters in them. D-I-E, die. Don't worry. Lots of people have succumbed to death by dieting because they do stupid, crazy things because they're trying to attain a weight rather than a lifestyle. What a person should do after they lose 20 kilos is, first of all, it'd be nice to know what kind of 20 kilos they lost, because losing 20 kilos of water and muscle, well, you could have gone into a sauna for 10 hours and done that without sacrificing all that food.
20 kilos of fat. So
well, if someone did lose 20 kilos of fat, which you're not going to show me, unfortunately, not in this world culture. People don't lose 20 kilos of fat unless they've been educated and taught how to do so. But randomly, people can't guess their way to that. But they will lose weight. But what they should do at that point is not change. That's the thing. You know, how can I explain this? Let's say a plane. It's going to take off. It's going to go from here to Australia. So the very first thing it has to do is it's got to run down the runway. So we call it taxiing. And then it picks up speed and it takes off. All that power. The most exhaustive part of the plane's journey truly is the takeoff. And it takes off and then it starts to lift like this. And this is that journey that people have to actually go through to make those changes in their body. And at a certain point, it's going to decide, well, hey, we're here now. I think it's time to level out, because this is exactly where I want to be. And when it levels out, this is the start of the lifestyle that has been built. So the takeoff is the building of the lifestyle. And at any point in time when you feel you've hit the right altitude, 30,000, 35, 38, 45,000, it doesn't make a difference. When you feel comfortable and you're happy with where you are, happy. I'm not saying I lost 20 kilos and I'm flabbier than before, because no one's happy with that. But when someone loses 20 kilos of fat, let's say that happens, and they're happy, then they can say, I'm going to level out now and I'm going to live this life. So what did you do to get to that point? Well, you probably ate healthy foods, balanced throughout the day, foods that were, the right amounts for your specific and required body, because everyone is different. You probably were doing something in that duration of time that you haven't done in a really long time before that, and that is being active. Because that's what it takes. To burn fat off, you've got to burn it off, and burning is an action. And so you have to burn it off. So now you've got a person who is leveled out, living a lifestyle of eating consistently, doing the right things, and is active, and they maintain that course for the rest of their life. There's no getting off. Getting off of what? What does that mean? I can't, you want to ask me, can I have pizza? Of course you can have pizza. You can have pizza and you can eat McDonald's if that's what you want. But when you are leveled out, living the right lifestyle, your metabolism is effectively working, which means, well, if your metabolism is like a huge fire and it's going really strong, nothing will sustain in that fire. So if you have
burn it off quicker.
You burn it off like this. I mean, snow won't stick to a hot surface. It will only stick to a cold surface. A cold surface would be a person with no metabolism, slowed right down, and fat coming down and just piling on top of each other. But if you're an active person and you're consistently active, you're like a heat bed. No snow is going to stick, so no fat's going to stay. So it's about maintaining consistency, and by far, especially women, listen, consistency is much, 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 much better than perfection. There's no such thing as perfect, so you're not going to be perfect. So if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to screw up with one meal and then go, and then start eating the next 2 days worth of food out of your mind, because that's just a really bad excuse to eat. Consistency is far better than perfection, and be consistent in that life. And if you do that, what you effectively do is continuously get better, continuously get healthier. You are migrating or evolving into a better person physically, mentally, spiritually. Everything about you psychologically is better, and your life then becomes better, which is by far better than what people are doing. Losing 20 kilos, going back to the same routine that they had before the weight, only to gain the weight back again, to then decide at some point after they've been discouraged and eating whatever they want to eat for a certain period of time, that they need to diet again and repeat the cycle and cyclically.
But why would you, perhaps it might sound like a stupid question, but once you reach that target, why would you go back to eating again? Obviously,
because people do it.
It's common sense, no?
Because people are brought up in this world right now where everything is so, so before, to eat healthy, I had to plan meals, I had to have a structure, I had to live a structured life. But our culture now teaches people just to be yourself, just forget rules and routine. That's for your nonna's age. They had routines, forget routines. We're free-spirited people. We can do whatever we want to do. Do what you like. Don't let anybody tell you this, or don't look at that. Don't count this. Don't count calories. Yeah, that's stupid. Why would you count calories? And at the same time, when you don't want to count calories, teach your children when you're teaching them how to drive a car to forget the speedometer as well. You don't need to count how fast you're going. Just go as fast as you want to go. It's irresponsible that way. But we're taught to be like that. So when you get that, loss of weight, which really means nothing, but when you drop that weight down, you're saying, I've invested 4 months or 3 months or 2 months sacrificing, and just to do this, to get into that dress for the wedding. And now that I've done it, well,
just letting
that's it, it's gone. I have no goal. I don't really care now. You understand? This is a huge story, really. It's a very, very big story, and it's not going to be done here. But there's a big story to why anyone would actually just do that, eat to get into a dress, or eat for the summer, and as soon as summer's gone, they let themselves completely go. Who does that? Well, everyone seems to do these types of things. Not everyone, but a high percentage of people. So why keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, like consistently over and over again? It doesn't even make sense. Do a job right once and that's it, and live that life. That's what learning is all about, isn't it? That's what you do. You learn so you don't ever have to go back and retrace your steps. But unfortunately, when it comes to health and wellness, people just are not educated. No one is really teaching you and telling you things that, really make a lot of sense. You just think that it's just okay, well, I'm fat now, I'm gonna go on a diet, I'm gonna do what they tell me, which is eat less than I need, or eat 1,200 calories a day, because that's what they say, and they say don't eat carbs, and they say the world is full of misinformation and garbage left, right, and center, and people at home who don't know what they're doing just grab onto something, try it, do it, whatever. It's not there's no consistency. There is no lifestyle in that. That's just always putting fires out. Oh, I'm fat, I need to go on a diet. Do what I got to do. Drop the weight. All right, it took me a year to get it back, and I ate all the crappy foods, and now I'm even worse than I ever was before. But what the hell? I'll deal with that then.
And people expect to see results immediately. I think that's the whole issue.
Yeah, well, again, it's not really their fault because marketing promotes that. I mean, even on bottles like Stim and Trims and stuff like that, it'll say things like fast acting or works in minutes. I've seen it where it said work in seconds. Like, I mean, it's almost like telling someone you take this pill, within seconds you'll get thin. I mean, obviously people don't really believe that, but they have this wishful thinking that there's such a pill out there that would do that for them, because they really don't want to invest their time in anything. They want to have all their fun. You know, what's that saying? You can want to have your cake and eat it too. Listen, I want to be thin, totally in shape, look great in my dress. I want to people look at me and go, wow, and all that kind of stuff. But I want to eat whatever I want to eat. I never want to exercise. I don't want to do anything. Nothing happens overnight. I mean, how far do you have to go for that? I mean, look at a farmer, okay? Here's a guy, he has to invest his time to build his crop. So he's got to go dig up the ground. He's not getting paid for that. He's got to put seed in it. He's got to water it and nurture it. He doesn't go out the very next day after working his fields and goes, where are they? Why don't I have where is it? Because he knows it takes time. See, that's reality. That's
like everything in life.
Everything in life is like that. So why all of a sudden do people actually think that losing weight or this or that is going to happen just like that? So listen, what to do after? Be consistent, create a lifestyle. Don't stop putting out fires. Create a lifestyle. Change the way you see things. Change your mind. Educate yourself. Rewire that brain for success. Learn what you need to do to maintain a healthy life. It's not a sacrifice. Truly, it really isn't. It's the opposite of the sacrifice. It is a gift, you know. And so once you learn how to do that, then you will have learned how to solve the riddle of the encyclical problem of yo-yo dieting.
Right. So education is the key, as always.
Education and direction and following your path with consistency.